Do not worry about your looks. Focus on who you are as an individual. The thing is, I kind of speak about this a lot because the Holy Spirit is asking me and speaking the truth. And you have to hammer home the point at times. The thing is this, what is it that we often see? The case, man, especially now in these times, I've come to find out about hair transplants for men, for example, and cosmetic enhancements and getting your arms enhanced and getting these plastic surgeries done. And two things, that is just not very godly, if I am being honest. And the second part is, what do we relate these cosmetic things and enhancements with? With ladies, of course. So why is this important? Because the thing is, it's not that looking good or attractive is bad. It's not. That's a good thing. However, everything in an extreme is not good. Only thing that you could say or view as being good, even to an extreme, is your belief in God. And the thing is with this, guys, is when you are so fixated on this, on something that is inherently a, let's say, feminine or ladylike thing to do, essentially you're feminizing yourself. So essentially you're becoming more of a lady. And that's great if you're a lady, but I don't believe you are. So you need to focus on the things internally. Those are cosmetics, brother. Because let me just say this, from what I've seen, lived, encountered, everything. You can have, let's say, the partner of God's choosing for you, which typically is going to be a very attractive one to you, without worrying about any of the way that you look, really. I mean, you could be in sweatpants. Okay, that's not ideal, right? Because ultimately how you express yourself matters. But that doesn't matter. You can have a haircut 8 weeks old and all of this, and if you have that strength and you're yourself internally, that's what's attractive. That's what ladies in particular are fond of. This video is different because this is one of those things where it's not the same for men and women. The reality is, as a man, if a lady isn't dressed particularly well or groomed, it's not very attractive. Because what are we saying here? Biblically, ladies are feminine creatures, brother. And feminine creatures typically aren't going to look like big, burly, marauding individuals. That's what men are. So we have different roles, as everything is. Do you think that it's by coincidence that Eve was created the way that she was? She could have looked like Adam, but she wasn't, for a reason. I think Adam was created like that for a reason when he could have been created like Eve? Of course not. And I mean, of course not that Adam wasn't created to be a woman. He was created to be a man. And essentially, if man and woman are created differently, we have different things that we like and that we value and that we see as attractive. So, as a man, and I see this so often, man, unfortunately now, the society has been corrupted to an extent. So it's common to see men who paint their fingernails and even the earrings. I had earrings, guys, but even earrings, I feel that's not as bad, right? But that's something you want to wear more in your youth, because even that, right? Who wears earrings? What do we equate earrings with? with ladies. So yeah, even earrings, I would say, is something that you want to do more in your youth. However, the hair transplants and this, I mean, if you want to look better, right? But there's a reason that, let's say, you do not have hair. God created us with us in mind and us to reciprocate His image. And ultimately, in a society that's fallen, one moment. All right, back. In a society that's fallen, if you go out of your way to create yourself in a way to mesh to the society that is fallen fully, because there are parts, right, just to live, but fully, well, you become fallen. You become corrupted. And let's have a serious chat. Let's say you're a man with implants, and look, if that's the case, brother, I'm not here to judge you. You understand? Because we are all of sin. We've all done things that can be viewed as inherently bad or difficult. That's the reality, and challenging, and things that aren't godly. However, I just want to give you this example. Let's say that you are speaking to a godly woman and you are dating her. And this comes up. Hey, I've gotten a hair transplant. Hey, I've gotten some bicep insertion. What do you think that illustrates? Strength and honor and masculinity? Not at all, brother. And I get it. We're not 100% masculine. That's the beauty of us. However, you want to be at least 60%. And these things are inherently feminine qualities, brother. The fixation on looks, on appearance, is a feminine attribute, which is amazing as a lady. To an extent, right? Even with ladies, the lip fillers, all this plastic stuff. No, that's not godly. We don't need that. However, looking good, being in good physical shape, and being attractive is very endearing and very attractive in women. But in men, it isn't. So, okay, we've gotten that out of the way, right? So how, as a man, how can you truly be that attractive person on the inside? Because that's what matters. It's not even the outside. I've been around models. I've been around very attractive men. I've been someone who has modeled all of these things right in the past when I was so fixated on my looks, and that's what was kind of told to me. And you attract a certain type of woman when you're fixated on your looks, because everything is an energy dynamic, right? So when you're so fixated on your looks, you're going to be in feminine energy more. And so you're going to attract women who are in masculine energy more, even if they may look like ladies. However, how they go about their life, they're just controlling everything, making money here, doing this, making moves here. It's a masculine imperative on their life. And so that's what you will attract, and ultimately those relationships will not be fruitful, they will not be prosperous, because you're inherently in a lie. Because it's a lie to be a man who considers himself a woman or living as a woman, and vice versa if you're a woman living as a man or consider yourself a man. So this is how we fix that, man. You need to be deep and connected within yourself profusely and profoundly, man. And know, okay, let me be in my masculine core. That is what matters. Ultimately, and as I was alluding to, man, let me not kind of change it completely what we were speaking on. But even in my own experience, the second I stopped focusing on looks and just being the man that God has created me to be, the internal thing. Because that's the other part. I hear about, oh, say this to a lady, do like this to a lady, show this, even the dressing, everything. Brother, the goal is you have a partner for marriage, and then you can't always put on a front. Like, oh yeah, I'm this strong, assertive man, but if you're just showing that and that's not your character, that will come to light. And when that comes to light, your partner will see, oh wait, you're not the man that I thought you were. And it's going to be even worse because you've attached yourselves to one another. So now this relationship, brother and sister, is going to falter and both will be affected. So I don't want men to put on fronts. Oh, look at how I dress. Look at how I grew up. Be the man. Be the leader without even thinking that you are. Be the man without even thinking that you are. And how do you do that? You can only do that by being connected to God 100%, following God, and doing difficult challenges and difficult things. Working excessively hard. Training. Forging your mind. Reading. Doing things that require discipline. Doing things that require sacrifice. Doing things that mentally and physically exhaust you completely. And where you're in a state that you are vulnerable. And let's say, because you all need this, I feel that is very important. You need a moment where, I mean, let's call it what it is. The devil is trying to, hey, can I get your soul? Can I get you, right? And you being so strong in these moments, saying no. And resisting evil and fighting for good. That will never leave you. It's born into you. It's hatched into you. If you cannot walk, if you cannot see, you will always have that within you. And that will always be felt. And that will always resonate with other people. Because everything is an internal dynamic. You see why people say, hey, I don't like this person, I don't like this person. It isn't because, oh, what they say. Okay. It's because who you are reflects the words that come out of your mouth. And so when someone says, hey, I don't like you, for one, they're saying, I don't like what comes out of your mouth or how you dress or how you are, never the soul, but ultimately the person that you have become due to the works in your life. So that's what it is. So if you want a lady, right, a partner, equally yoked partner, a godly partner, you need to be a man who is godly. And to be a man who is godly requires work, requires dexterity, and requires yourself being fully disciplined and fully committed to your purpose, brother. God will bring everything around you. You have two options. I'll give you two, guys. You can either go do the transplants, do all the looks maxing, do all of this stuff. That's one thing you can do. And try to get as much attention from ladies as you can. Or you can completely forget about that and focus on getting as closely connected to God, and God will give you challenges to fortify you into the man that you need to be for the wife that you're meant to have. And then when she comes, it will be an absolute honor and blessing, and she will be thanking God every day for your presence because of the work that you did, not even necessarily directly thinking about her, but thinking about your connection to God and fortifying that. These are the options. Which do you choose? You're extremely powerful. I believe in you. And now is the time. Much love.